Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga-Texas construction update video.
Well, a very sultry morning at Giga-Texas with a lot of activity. And I'm going to show you starting at the south end. A lot more Model Ys have been produced. Again, I'm not sure what the production rate is, but it's definitely on an uptick. Maybe 150 cars a day. That would be close to 1,000 a week by now, so we'll have to see. But more car carriers were picking them up and arriving on site while I was here. Then we take a look at the entire roof to see the solar panels and the installation and how it appears now. I've had a couple of viewers ask me to do so, so there you go. And we take a little bit closer look at that HVAC and ducting work on the northwest corner of the battery cell structure, as there has been some changes over the last 48 hours, as you'll see. We also look at the expanding solar panel installation in and around the T of Tesla on the north end. Then we drop down and look at that northwest corner of the building where they're doing quite a bit of road work. They're also pouring concrete now in that center median area where I believe at some point they'll replace the light poles that will light that entire area. Also, in the past couple of videos I've mentioned, I've talked to groundkeepers here that are responsible for watering all the plants, and they talked about originally there was going to be an irrigation system. It wasn't put in, but expect to see one now. Well, as you can see right behind me, the irrigation trenching is underway. There's a lot of works with the groundskeepers, the people installing the trenching and the piping. So all along this north side and all along the entire west side, we should see an irrigation system installed, and you can see some of these pictures. After this, we go over to the east parking lot area where I show you where they're doing more trenching in that southeast corner to finish out the electrical conduit and be able to put in more lighting to finish out that area, and then soon we should start seeing light poles installed. Then we go up to the battery cathode area where the progress continues to be just absolutely amazing. Not only have they extended the length of the building to the north again, and now it's close to 60% done, but all of that roof and floor decking that I've mentioned in the past couple of videos is now being installed from the south to the north. So the first perhaps quarter of the building has the roof decking and the floor decking all around that area where a bridge crane may be installed in kind of that open area. So again, the progress has been just tremendous, and they're moving quite quickly. Last, we go over and look at the electrical substation area where we see more groundwork, more widening of the area to make it more rectangular, a little bit of work on what I think is a small water detention pond, and then some more work across the power lines in that triangular area. So again, very busy day, lots to see. Texas is under an extreme heat wave right now, so just keep all the workers here in your thoughts as they're working on the roof and in very difficult conditions while the temperatures are soaring to over 110 degrees or about 45 degrees Celsius. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the video and have a great day.
My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga-Texas. So this morning we'll start off at a little bit higher altitude on the south end, and you can see all of the Model Ys that have been produced, and we'll get a little bit closer view of that in a bit. You can also see a lot of materials on that south end going into the stamping extension area. But I've had some viewers ask if I would give a good view of the entire roof to see how the solar panel installation is coming along and how all the letters appear right now. So here is this south to north pass across the roof, and you can kind of see how this is shaping up. The expansion of the solar panels to the rest of the roof is beginning at the north end up by the T, and I'll get you a closer view of that in just a second. So here is a little bit closer view of the T. You can see how the solar panels are expanding to the north at this point in time, and they'll continue that the rest of the roof over the next several months. Some viewers have asked, are the solar panels functional right now? I do not know. I know that they are wiring some of them up and installing inverters, but as far as them being actually operational, I do not know. Other viewers have asked, what is the overall capacity once it's completed? And again, I'm not sure, but I think it'll be about 25 or more megawatts per day. So now I'm going to show you some of the progress on this HVAC ducting over the battery cell structure here. As you can see, the remaining 5 ducting enclosures on the left-hand side looks like work is now beginning on those to complete this area. And as mentioned before, this area is very similar to what we see over at Giga Berlin, but here you can see where they are preparing to install more of those enclosures. And then I'm going to give you a really close view of this solar panel extension area. You can see the crews are installing more of the mounts. These are Unirack mounts, and they're in the blue containers waiting for more installation. You can see some of the smaller tan crates. Those are the solar panels, and again, they're from multiple different companies. And we can also see some of the pallets with the solar edge inverters. But this here gives you an idea of how they are expanding this particular section, and it should expand to go all the way to the end of the roof on this area, and then they will continue from this point on. There's a lot of activity in the northwest corner area, as you can see. Road work is ongoing. A lot of the concrete is being poured in that center median area, and you can see those concrete trucks off to the left. Also, as mentioned in the intro, I talked to some of the groundskeepers about the watering of the plants in this area and along the west side of the building. And he said that eventually they would start building in trenching and putting in a permanent irrigation system, and that is what is going on here. You can actually see some of the trenches being dug right now and some of the other work. So we shall see more of that irrigation system. But now as we fly a little bit farther to the south, you can see the work that is going on in that central median area, and this is where crews have the rebar preparing for that concrete to be poured. And as I continue to fly along here, you can see more of like the almost like curbs around that central media being made, and also on the right-hand side there's some drainage grates that have been installed. If you look on the berm here, you can see these pipes. These are the temporary watering system until the trenching is completed. And just another shot here of that road work area. And the concrete pours down that center median. And I do expect to see light posts put back into that area once they are completed. We're approaching the west main entrance area. This dirt area is waiting for more work to complete the concrete, and this asphalt area will be next to be removed, I believe, and then this will be all concreted in, and then they'll finish the rest of the main entrance area and ramp installation. Here you can also see more of the road work down that center area, and the concrete median in the middle has been poured at this point here, and again we should see light posts at some point in the near future. This steel ramp is completed, and I haven't seen a whole lot of activity, but I know that just inside you can see a lot of crates and other equipment, so they must be using it. And here at the southwest corner you can see more work by the crews on the underground manhole access points to some of the water system. Once this is completed and poured with concrete, then they should complete this apron area with more concrete after they put in some rebar. So we should be seeing that in the near future. But now we're on the south end, and I want to show you just a quick view of the overall area. You can see how many Model Ys have been produced. Again, the number of Model Ys departing the site via transports is over 100 a day now, and the amount of production seems to be exceeding that. So I'm thinking that it's probably around 150 now per day, close to 1,000 per week. And hopefully we'll find out from Tesla soon that they've achieved that milestone. But here we're on that south steel and material storage area again, just to show you how this area is growing. Much of this material is being used in other parts of the site. A lot of the steel is being moved into that stamping extension area on the south end of the building, where the two loading areas are open next to that platform. Speaking of platforms, coming right up under the direct ahead of the drone, we can see this platform that was assembled and fabricated on the south side. It looks like they're preparing to move it, and so I'm kind of curious to see where that will be. Also, you can see more Model Ys here on the far east side. Again, I'm not sure why they segregate these out, but these are all being prepared to move over to the loading area for the transport trucks to pick up. We can also see more of the racks for the solar panels and solar panels directly ahead, but this area is rapidly being cleared out and moved up to the roof. So now as we pan to the left, you can see a lot more materials, especially in that green wrapped and also on the truck. A lot of this is going into either stamping or the stamping extension area where they're doing a lot of construction, or at least they have been, and a lot of the steel, and we've seen concrete being poured inside. But these two large doors is that stamping extension area. It's the last area that's still under construction to some degree inside, and a lot of this green wrapped materials will be going in there, or the stamping machine structure. And this is all for production, not just for construction. We also see more blue materials here getting ready to be lifted up by the crane, most likely, and put inside the south end of the General Assembly via those two access points and that platform. I'm going to pan to the left a little bit to show you more of the Model Ys, just to give you an idea of how the production is moving along. This area that we're seeing now is the transport area. This has got squares for 30 cars, and there's 6 of them, so 180 cars at any time can be prepared for the transports to come and pick them up. The long lanes that you see here is where the transport trucks arrive and then load up the cars and depart. Another thing I wanted to show you here is note all of the temporary lighting that is arranged at the south end of this lot. I think that this is a great indication for not only production but also for 24/7 operations to pick up the vehicles to transport off the site, and they need this temporary lighting until the permanent lighting is installed. So again, another indication that production ramp is happening here at Giga-Texas. We're on the southeast corner, right over the Colorado River, approaching the directional drilling area. This is on the north bank. This has got drills that go under the river, and they connect over to a southern area that's very similar to this, but where the pipe is arranged and it will be pulled through to this side. My 8 July video had a great link to a YouTube video on what directional drilling is, and I would recommend you take a look at that video and those links for more information. We're going to fly up to the east side of the body and wike again. I just want to show you the progress just north of this temporary platform of this clearing area where they're preparing for more loading docks. And you can see it looks like more trenching for plumbing is going on before they prepare the area for rebar and then pouring of concrete. And you can also see those 3 new loading bays cut into the wall, and just north of that you see the portable air conditioning units with the water coming off. It shows that they are operational. I think this is bridging the gap until the permanent HVAC is operational. Also, here's more of the loading areas along this side of the building, and that one that they're constructing will be very similar in appearance once it is completed. The east side main entrance, again, there's some work in front of it for that sort of the concrete threshold area, but otherwise we're still waiting for materials to arrive for the glass and the front doors. Right here is another look at this temporary, actually the new parking lot area, and you can see those charging stations. Also, the trenching that was there for the conduit is now filled back in, so it suggests that we may see paving of this area very soon. I'm also panning across here to show you where that road damage was on the berm and shoulder, and you can see how they've got those yellow dividers there just to protect it until they are able to complete that road repair. Here's another look at the trenching that is going on in this southeast corner of this large parking lot. This is the last area that is needed to have the trenches, electrical conduit, and the bases for the light poles installed. And once this is completed, they should start installing all of the light posts. And so hopefully we'll see that pretty soon. As you can see, more trenching on this side, kind of coming towards the drone. And I would expect to see at least 2 more of those a little bit further on the north side so they can complete the light post and electrical conduit. As we pull back to the far east area, just trying to give you an overview of how this area appears now. We can see materials, some of the dirt, gravel, and so forth that's used around the site is kind of stockpiled in this area and close to where the cyber planners are made by recycling those old wall panels that you can kind of see moving off to the left. We can also see the trailer area for the contractors that are predominantly responsible for the construction of Giga-Texas. And it looks like there's that orange marked off area. Maybe that's a new area for more trailers or some other construction. I'll have to continue to monitor that as well. But as we continue to pull away, you can see that Martin Marietta maintenance facility that has been here before Giga-Texas, and at some point will be moved. And I'll just see when that happens. It'd probably be in relation to the main Martin Marietta factory, which is just coming into view on the other side of the cathode factory when it is relocated. But speaking of the cathode factory building, just take a look at the progress here. It is just absolutely amazing. I would say that the steel structure is now close to 60% completed, and they're adding about 10%, give or take, every 24 to 48 hours, which is incredible. As we fly from the north to the south, you can see the footings that remain to have the steel structure installed. You can see that the crane has now moved north almost to where those actually is right over one of those diagonal diamond-shaped footings, and that just gives you an idea of the progress that they have made. Here you can see that the crane has had several pieces of the beams pulled up at once, and the crews are installing the last of this group, and then they'll go and pick up more. It is just amazing to me the speed and the progress that these guys are making on the steel assembly. And I hope that you just appreciate all the work they're doing, especially with the temperatures that they're having to deal with during the afternoon time frame. But here I'm going to pan a little bit to the south. You can see how the building is progressing. And another major milestone or achievement is, as mentioned in the last couple of videos, the floor and roof decking materials have been set out for future installation. Well, that installation has begun already, and about a quarter of the building now has the roof decking, and as you can see, the third and second floors have the floor decking, and this sort of brackets around these open area where I think we'll eventually see a bridge crane installed, and probably maybe even some large machinery. It could be the calciner that is necessary for turning spodumene concentrate 6 to lithium hydroxide, but we'll have to see how that progresses and when the equipment is installed. But here's a good view of a worker on top of the roof to kind of give you an idea of the scale of this and the progress that they're making on the roof. I pulled back a little bit to give you a different perspective on the trenching and other work that's going on that is installing utilities. I think this is plumbing, but it could also be for electrical conduit, but nevertheless, this is a great sign to show that the utilities are being prepared for installation at the building, which again is just phenomenal, the pace that they are moving. Here with the crane, this is, again, I call this sort of the wind chime effect. You can see they have 4 beams all on one pull of the crane, and this is just another way to accelerate the progress. They bring this over to the crews. They take the lowest beam, or column in this case, and then they install it, and then lowers down, and they continue until those are done, and then the crane picks up more. So it's amazing to see how efficient this operation is. Now we've arrived over at the electrical substation and megapack battery storage area. You can see the progress is just continuing to work on the grade. In this area here, you can see the excavator has marked out sort of a rectangular edge, and I believe we'll see that excavation go along roughly that those lines that you see just to the north of that excavator. It gives you an idea of, again, the continuing work to try to make this area more rectangular overall in size. And now as I pan to the left, I'm flying right over where I think, as you can see there, is a small water detention pond, probably part of water management efforts. You can see the depression here, kind of almost like 2 triangular shapes. But I'll continue to monitor this and we'll see, but it certainly looks like that's what it's for. But work just to the south of that area continues to move some of the dirt over to the center area, and you can see the scraper and the bulldozer working to get this area's grade level all the way across. So we should see this continuing possibly under the power lines to that triangular area, which we'll look at in just a second. But here's some more excavation work that is going on near the temporary substation, and again it looks like they're preparing a larger area to be all of the same grade as the current center area is. So now I'm going to fly back over the power lines to show you the progress on this triangular section. Again, it's kind of 3 different levels. The center road area is one, then the area where they're working on the dirt is another, and then by the grass it's a 3rd level. So I'm going to bring the drone down on this side just so you can get a perspective of what I mean by the 3 levels. And as you see, they're continuing to bring dirt from the east side over to the west to continue to build this area out. But you can see that the elevation change here between the grass and the area they're working on is pretty significant. It's about 15 to 20 feet. Call that about 5 meters in altitude difference. As we move back towards the main building, I wanted to pop over here for a second and show you this excavation work area. This is conduit that connects to the casting machine structure, and it was installed under the road to this point. Eventually this will connect to the new electrical power station. As we fly over the parking area, moving over to the casting machine structure, I'm going to look onto this side. You can see a delivery that's being made. People have asked about the Cybertruck Giga-Press, the 9,000 ton press, and whether it's here or not. The answer is no. I expect that to be delivered sometime in August per information that I've kind of been told. And that still is consistent with what IDRA has suggested as well. So another maybe 3 or 4 weeks, we might see the Cybertruck Giga-Press parts starting to arrive, and I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. So now as we look at the north part of the building, you can see how the loading ramps are in operation. A lot of materials continue to arrive here and then are moved into the second, third, and fourth floors of this north end of the building. And here again is a look at the northwest corner road, the median, and also some of the trench work for the irrigation system that's being installed, kind of where we began the video. So for now, I'm going to do a big pullback all the way to the battery cathode plant, just so you can get an overall view of how the entire site appears today. So there you have it, a busy day at Giga-Texas, lots to see. I hope that you enjoyed this talk and fly and all of the information that I presented. Have a great day.